Hi everyone, this is Nikki from Rebel Recipes. Thank you very much to Vegan Food and Living for having me here today. Sorry I'm a minute late, but I was having some technical difficulties, i.e. my phone just fell into the food. So hi everyone that's joining. So basically today I'm going to be cooking a really easy recipe, but one of my favourite things to do. So I'm going to be cooking, just making some easy peasy flatbreads and a lovely pea and mint dip. So in my view, if you've got frozen peas in the freezer, then basically you can whip something up really quickly, something really yummy, a nice dip. You can use them to make a quick curry, they're just brilliant. And flatbreads I think are just the best. So I don't know whether anyone's cooking along, but I'll show you the ingredients. Really simple. So let me show you the ingredients for the peas. Let me try and flip it. Hang on, bear with me. Don't know whether you can see, but basically all I've got is 250 grams of peas, just frozen defrosted by running them under hot water. Hi everyone that's joining, and then I've just got some sea salt flakes, some extra virgin olive oil, that's 2 tablespoons, juice of half a lemon, some mint. Arguably I could have more mint, that I've only got a little bit, but if you've got more, definitely put more in. And then I've got some optional extras basically. So the basic pea and mint dip is literally just peas, olive oil, mint, lemon juice and mint, but then you can sort of add extra flavours. So basically if you've got pine nuts, it's delicious with toasted pine nuts. If you've got nutritional yeast, you can make like a cheesy peas, or you can add tahini to make it like a bit like a pea tahini. So let me show you, pea hummus rather. So let me show you the ingredients for the flatbreads. So basically all I've got is some plain flour. This is just plain flour, but you can literally use whatever flour you want. So you can use whole wheat, gram flour, buckwheat flour, spelt, plain flour, anything. This will basically work. And then I've got some baking powder, some plant-based yogurt, I've got coconut, and some salt, and I will have some water. So, but let's make the pea and mint dip first. I'm going to flip you around again. Aha, right, I'm back. So if you've got any, amazing, so you've got all the gear, fantastic. So all you're doing is literally, this pea dip could not be more simple. All you need to do is blitz the ingredients and that's it. So we'll do that first. So the peas, frozen peas, defrosted by running them under hot water, going in my food processor. You can also use a high-speed blender. And again, you can get the consistency how you want it. I quite like a sort of chunky dip, but you could get make one really smooth and creamy as well. Would also be amazing. So this is going in. My peas are going in, and then this is literally so easy. About half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, depends how salty you want it, of sea salt flakes. Juice of half a lemon going in. 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, makes it so good. And then mint. So if you haven't got any mint, other herbs that are really good. You could use basil, you could use thyme. They would be super good. I've not put very much mint sadly, but basically more mint the better. We did have some in the garden, but basically I've been using it so much it's gone. So unfortunately I thought I had more and I've only got a little bit, but it will still be good. It will still be yummy. So this is that's it. Mint's going in, and then it's just a matter of blitzing it. I think I will also flavour it with some tahini. So basically, if you've got tahini, this makes it more like a pea hummus, which is absolutely gorgeous. And oh my goodness, I think I've forgotten to put garlic. So basically, garlic is completely up to you. Sometimes I put garlic in, sometimes I don't put garlic in. Sometimes I put 1 clove, sometimes I put 3 cloves because I love garlic. So I'm going to leave it out today because I've got tahini, but entirely up to you. Where is my top? So now I'm just blitzing it. So I'll show you here, coming in. I'll show you the results in a sec. So you can hear it, back a little bit. That's it. So basically, pea and mint dip is done. That's it. Easy as that, guys. So if anyone's doing it, hopefully you've got this result as well. So, okay, so all I'm going to do is decant that out and then get on to making the flatbreads. So, okay, I'm just popping this in a bowl and it smells absolutely amazing. So as I said, you can sort of, change the flavours for this really easily. So you can put some nutritional yeast in there and then it's sort of like, this might sound a bit weird, but it's sort of like cheesy peas, but that's just so good. You can put toasted pine nuts, toasted nuts, that also works really well to make it more like a pesto. Amazing. Okay, but this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, then I'll talk you through my flatbread and I'll show you the ingredients again. So, just trying to get it all out, because definitely don't want to waste any of this pea and mint dip. If you've got any questions, I will try and read and cook and explain what I'm doing at the same time and answer. Right, nearly there. Oh, right, okay, that's good, that's getting in there. And I don't know if you can see the lights in there a little bit, but can you see? Chunky, lovely, minty, pea, gorgeous dip, and that's going to be so good. It's going to be good with flatbreads, it would be great with roasted veg, gorgeous on some lovely sourdough toast, would be amazing. Oh, so good. Right, okay. And now I've realised I have lost my measuring jug. So basically, aha, here it is. So basically, sorry about that guys, just trying to get my water. So for the flatbread, you need 200 grams of flour. Basically, any flour you want, this will pretty much work. It's sort of a foolproof flatbread recipe. Other options, if you wanted to make it sort of really fluffy flatbread, of course you could add some yeast and knead it and cover it and wait for an hour, and you're going to get a gorgeous, more fluffy, pizza type flatbread. But this sort of clues in the name, it's a flatbread, but it's going to work and be really yummy. So basically 200 grams of flour of your choice, and then I'm going to put 100 millilitres of water. Okay, so the water's just there, but basically I'm putting about half a teaspoon of salt, pinch of salt, depends how salty you want it. That's going into the mix. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, so this basically just gives it a bit of a lift. Again, it will work without it, but I think it's nice to make it slightly fluffier. And then some coconut yogurt. Once again, it will definitely work without it, but again, it just makes it a bit more squidgy. Another thing you could add, if you haven't got any plant-based yogurt, coconut yogurt, is a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and that also works really well. Just gets it a bit more of just a slightly squidgier, fluffier flatbread, basically. Okay, so that's going in, and also the water. So let's see. So basically, I think so you can have a look at that. So the key with flatbreads is basically don't panic. So if it looks a bit dry, add a bit more water. If it looks too wet, add a bit more flour. It's absolutely fine. All you're looking for is a consistency at the end. So I'm just getting that to come together, and I'll show you, I'll turn it back around in a sec. How much yogurt did I use? I used 2 tablespoons of yogurt. But you could also use more or less. What you're looking for is basically the texture. So you just want it to be a sort of, I'll show you. You just want it to come together, be quite springy. Of course, different flours will vary. So basically, if you're using a spelt flour, for example, if you're using buckwheat, for sure, you're not going to get as much of a fluffier dough. But if you're using sort of, white flour or using self-raising flour, then you're going to get a fluffier flatbread, basically. Okay, so basically this is how it's looking at the moment, and I'll tilt this down so you can have a look. Can you see? So that at the moment is basically slightly wet, so I'm going to just add a little bit more flour. So this is what I'm saying, it's all about the consistency. So what is going on? I don't know what that word means. Okay, so add a little bit more flour if your mix is a little bit wet, and basically get your hands in, start giving it a little bit of a mix round in the bowl, and then we can transfer it to the chopping board. Okay, so I'm just gonna squeeze, and it feels amazing. I think dough just feels so good. It's like one of the most satisfying things ever. Put A little bit more flour. Yeah, that's looking good. And it also makes your hands extremely sticky, which is basically, my hands are now covered with dough. No bad thing. So this dough is basically going to make approximately 4 flatbreads, 4 medium-sized flatbreads basically. So yeah, it's coming together. It's still sticky. I might need a bit more flour. So yeah, don't be scared of the dough. Just, you know, get your hands in. Coconut yogurt or any plant-based yogurt. Any plant-based yogurt is absolutely fine. Any yogurt you have will be work a treat basically. Okay, so my hands are super sticky and I need a bit more flour, so I'm just going to wash them and go get more flour. The other thing you can do is don't be afraid to mix flours. So basically, you know, we haven't got very much flour at the moment. So if you only got a little bit of plain flour and like some, you know, some spelt flour, some buckwheat flour, literally just mix it. It's absolutely fine. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour. I've got spelt, even though that was white flour, that will be absolutely fine. Okay, and I'm going to give it another mix. Because today, this is super sticky. Oh, it's feeling so good, so doughy. And can you imagine that dipped into the peas? It's going to be absolutely amazing. Right, so that's now coming together really well. And let me just show you. Can you see? Looking super fluffy and great. So if anyone's making this, basically just keep kneading it for a little bit until you get a super nice sort of fluffy dough that's come together, and it's going to be fab. Okay, so now I'm just transferring this to my chopping board, if you can see that. Put a little bit more flour on the chopping board, like so, and then just knead it for a few more minutes. Now, you know, it'll still work if you cook it straight away, as long as it's sort of come together nicely, but you know, it's good if you can knead it for a few minutes just so it's all combined really well. Okay, so this is looking good. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is chop it into 4 and pop these back in here to make in a minute, and there we go. And now I'll roll this one out. Now you put the griddle pan on, so if you're cooking as well, put your frying or griddle pan on now. And you want that to be heated to a sort of, you know, at least a medium heat. You don't need any oil, just get it, medium to high heat while you're rolling your dough out. Okay, so this is still a little bit sticky, but it's all good. This is going to make an absolutely fab flatbread. Okay, so we're nearly there, guys. First flatbread is coming up. It will soon be with us to be able to dip in our lovely pea dip. So basically, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm literally just sort of like teasing it out to a flatbread shape. And this is just my own weird method of doing it. You could use a rolling pin, but I quite like this sort of, you know, misshapen handmade flatbread style. Patting it down, and then I've just got my spatula here, and I'm just going to get it off the board, and like so, and then basically pop it into my griddle pan. Let me wash my hands and show you again. So let me turn this around, guys, so you can see. Bear with me. So here you go. This griddle pan has had so much use recently that it's seen better days. I need to get a new one. But there you go. The really cute little shaped flatbread on the griddle. There it is. Right. There you go. I had a view of my garden there for a minute. Okay, so basically, if anyone's doing it with me, I hope you're at the stage I'm at. So now you have to be just patient for a couple of minutes, and basically mine, I can see that it's sort of becoming a little bit more fluffy, and you know, definitely not ready yet, but it will be, it will be coming very soon. So if you're making, the other thing I do a lot of is make a sort of pancake type bread, which is another one of my favourite things to do. So if you're making a pancake type bread, it's basically like making a crepe or batter or pancake batter, and that's sort of a similar sort of process to this, but obviously you're adding more liquid. But for gluten-free flours, that works really well. So for example, if you're using gram flour or buckwheat flour, which are much drier, then you want to sort of inject as much liquid into your sort of bread. So having a more liquid ratio is really good. So yes, check out those as well on my channel if you want to make that sort of thing. So this is going, it's becoming fluffy. Okay, amazing. Let me show you this again. So look at that, guys. So it's looking gorgeous. Slightly brown on top. I hope yours is looking the same if you're at the same stage as me. And this is going to be, you can see how fluffy it is. It's just looking gorgeous, like a really nice fluffy flatbread. Can't wait to dip it in my pea dip. So yeah, so I've also been roasting some cauliflower this morning, so this is going to be my lunch. I'm going to have roast cauliflower, pea dip, flatbreads, and I made this really nice wild garlic pesto yesterday as well. So that's going to be my lunch. Can you imagine? That's going to be really yummy. And I think we're nearly there on the flatbreads, so let me know if you have any questions and I will more than happily answer them. And if anyone's made it, send me some images. I'd love to see them. Send them to Vegan Food and Living or send them to my account. I would absolutely love to see it, and I will repost you all my stories. Ah, this is looking so good. It's all fluffy because the base of mine was actually sort of good quality white self-raising flour. So if you aren't using that, your flatbread might not look quite as fluffy. Don't worry, it will still taste amazing, but this looks so good. So I think this is pretty good. So can you see? That looks amazing. Super fluffy, gorgeous flatbread. Just gonna put that on there. And so what I would do is basically repeat the process with the rest of the dough, and basically keep them all warm with a nice clean cloth, make them all, and then obviously dip them into the pea dip. But let me do this here, and let me just look, fluffy, steaming flatbread, absolutely lovely. Oh, can't wait to have that with my pea dip. So basically, I know that Vegan Food and Living are going to put this recipe on their site, so if you haven't followed along or you haven't got it already, then you can do that. What would you use if you add more baking flour? If you use plain flour, would you add more baking powder? Yeah, I mean, basically you don't have to, but yes, if I was using plain flour, I would definitely add a half a teaspoon of baking powder for sure. Self-raising flour, you don't need to, but I actually added a little bit because I wanted to make it as fluffy as possible. So there you go. Oh, fluffy flatbread. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Send me pics if you've got them. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Vegan Food and Living, for having me. Bye, guys. Bye.